Welcome to the Futurist Public Intellectual. This past week, the world was gripped by an international rescue effort that ultimately ended in tragedy. OceanGate's submersible Titan attempted to dive to the Titanic wreck off the coast of Newfoundland, Canada. The CEO, Stockton Rush, was operating the vessel with 4 passengers, 2 of whom were billionaires. Considering there are people like James Cameron, who has visited the Titanic wreck 33 times and has safely returned, the Titan incident certainly was irresponsible and tragic. The saddest part of the story to me is that a 19-year-old boy died when his father could have prevented him from taking this unnecessary risk. Since I'm a futurist, I'm going to look at this incident from several angles. First of all, this might be the tipping point for the governments of the world to finally step in and start regulating extreme tourism, particularly space tourism and deep-sea tourism. Just like regulators clamped down on the profligate excesses of Uber and Airbnb when they disrupted the transportation and hospitality industries, it seems like the time is right for the U.S. to start regulating companies like OceanGate. I do want to point out, though, that it's precisely American-style capitalism that has allowed technology to progress as much as it has. Like so many of the advances in recent history, American companies are at the forefront of technological progress. American rule of law is also what can rein in the collateral damage that can occur in the pursuit of progress. I think it's important to recognize here that other than the teenage boy, everyone else was either a billionaire, an experienced explorer, or the CEO himself. Everyone knew that they were engaging in something experimental and that there were tremendous risks involved. Everyone had to sign a liability waiver that mentioned the possibility of death 3 times on the first page. This doesn't make the deaths any more acceptable because it's come to light that OceanGate did not allow for any independent third-party certification of the Titan's safety, and that the Titan had a carbon fiber hull, which is both unusual and untested for deep-sea exploration. In other words, OceanGate had a submersible of questionable build quality and safety, so these people's deaths were completely preventable. However, the one thing that is still true is that the intrepidity of these passengers is to be applauded. They have paved the way to the future of deep-sea tourism and illuminated the need for greater regulation. A number of people have been rather callous about the loss of lives from this incident, and while it's understandable that most of us don't feel much empathy for the billionaires who are engaging in adventures that cost $250,000, we do need to respect the risk takers. From the terminally ill who try experimental drug therapies to explorers who tackle the most hostile environments on Earth, it is the risk takers who propel science and progress forward. Someone has to be the first, and in our capitalistic system, the first to have access are usually the rich. We can appreciate the rich for both investing in the future and taking the risk of death in some cases in order to facilitate the future. The rich get to live on the cutting edge, but sometimes they also get cut. Thank you for listening to the Futurist Public Intellectual.